Hi guys, Ashley here, also known as the Age Lady Fan. I'm actually with another video. As promised, I'm coming back with my new topic videos, and today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, and it is WWE related. I don't really talk about WWE that much, but unless it's really something that I really want to get off my chest, I talk about it. Don't worry, Age Lee's top 5 reasons is still coming, so be patient for that for my Age Lee fans on my channel. But today's video is going to be about Miss Nikki Bella, Miss Fearless herself. I have decided to watch her Renee Young podcast, and I did. I watched the whole thing, and I really just wanted to hear her WWE part of the video, of the video, of the podcast. So I did, and I took some notes, and I just really feel like there's just some things that I really just want to clear up that she said. I just feel like it's either being she misworded or she just like completely took it out of content. So I'm going to discuss some things that she said, and I'm just going to tell you guys my opinion. I wrote the stuff that she said down, and I wrote down my notes. So this podcast came out this year on February 23rd, and I'm just gonna get to it. So the first thing that I wrote down that Renee Young mentioned was that she said the Bell Twins don't get enough credit for what they did, the work that they put in on the Divas division. That to me was a huge slap in the face because I don't understand why Renee would say something like that. It's like it's so crazy to me for her to say something like that because Nikki honestly thinks in her mind that her and Brie don't get enough credit, that they basically started everything that other women have done. They're basically she's basically taking credit for what AJ Lee and the Four Horsewomen did at that time. Nikki Bella didn't really do her and Brie. If you want to say that they are a big reason on the women getting better, you can say that. Me personally, I don't really feel that way. I don't really feel like they had anything to really do with the women getting the impact that they do today. But I think for her to say they don't get enough credit is just mind boggling because you have fans who honestly think that they did a lot more than they actually did. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand her saying that. Like, what makes Renee Young think they don't get enough credit? Like, I don't get it because you have, okay, yeah. And another thing, too, is that you cannot make fans feel bad for not caring what the wrestler is doing. You cannot say the fans are not giving you guys enough credit because they're not caring. That doesn't make sense either. That's like someone telling me that you need to put more respect on Finn Balor and what he did in the indie scene because he's worked all around the world. I don't watch the indie scene and I don't care about Finn Balor, so why do I need to respect what he did down there? I don't care what he did down there and you're not going to force me to care, so why should I? You cannot, the Nikki Bella and Brie cannot make the fans feel bad for not being interested in them and what they had going on. You just can't do that. So if that's your idea of not getting enough credit because fans didn't care, then maybe you need to reinvent yourself. Maybe you need to hype yourself down a little bit because I honestly don't think that they done as remotely as enough as someone like AJ Lee or even the Four Horsemen did at that time in NXT. Like the Four Horsemen were having really great, for what I know, really great matches. Like they were given an opportunity to have have larger than life storylines, given an opportunity to have larger than life characters and personalities come with their own gimmicks. They were given an opportunity to show the fans and show people in the back that women can go out there and do this. If you get women on TV who can show you that they can also tell stories and cut promos and have the matches to back it up, we can have people can care more about the women's division. And then on Raw, at the time when Lee was not there, you weren't getting that. You weren't getting. I mean, yes, Nikki Bella and Paige were tearing the house down with some of their matches, but none of their matches had any storylines. None of their matches had a compelling situation to care about. You didn't even know who the heel who the heel and the face was half the time. Like it was just all there probably was that they were probably doing a twin magic at that time in their matches. But it's like even that's kind of lame because now we know who looks different. They didn't even look the same anymore at that time. They looked really different. So it's like, uh, so maybe I'll ask this to the Bella Twin fans because I'm still on reason number one. What was it technically that the Bella Twins did that helped impact the women's evolution? Please tell me, give me a reason. Someone even can make a video about it on their own YouTube channel responding back to me, and I would love to hear. Because me personally, I think Nikki Bella's heel turn did. I think her championship reign didn't do anything for the roster. If anything, it killed the women's division. Brie wasn't really didn't get much to do. She was just Nikki Bella's jobber. Nikki Bella wasn't that interesting as a champion. So what was it technically that they did that was help impact? Number two, and this one really pissed me off because all you guys know that I am the biggest AJ Lee fan in the world, and this one took me out. So number two, blaming AJ Lee for why they couldn't get over with the fans, and technically she was being selfish with the spotlight. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This is just going to what I just said. Blaming superstars or trying to blame fans for why they weren't interested in you. No, do not blame AJ Lee for why you guys couldn't get over, for why you weren't successful at that time. AJ Lee is the reason why you guys couldn't get over, but that doesn't make any sense because weren't you and Brie, wasn't they starting to sell merch at the time? Weren't they starting to have that big storyline with Stephanie? Wasn't Brie starting to branch out? Not even way before Stephanie. She had the stuff going on with Daniel Bryan, like, and they couldn't get over. Nikki also had that storyline about getting beat up every day on Raw that had something to do with Stephanie and Brie being mixed in. She also had a heel turn, and her and Brie also had a feud, and she also competed for the title and had a long reign. So AJ Lee's influence kept y'all down. You guys hear that? How that doesn't make any sense? AJ Lee was apparently selfish. If AJ Lee was selfish, they wouldn't probably have any of that. AJ Lee has no control over the fact that they couldn't get merch or any of that. She has no control over anything they were doing before she got there. She has no control over that. She has no control over that. So don't blame my girl AJ Lee for why y'all couldn't get over, because it doesn't make sense. Y'all were still able to do other things, and y'all also had a show and making another show on the side. But she's the reason y'all couldn't get over with the fans. That's bullshit. Because if that's the reason, you'd probably be like if they had such a hard time getting over, they probably would have Naomi's career at this period of time. Just on the roster, just not really giving anything to do, and just kind of there, just coming to work every day, have to be here, not really going to do anything much. They probably would have had a Naomi type career. Hate to say that, but it's true. But no. So the fact that they're even blaming AJ Lee just doesn't make any sense, and it's complete bullshit. Because if AJ Lee was the reason, if she kept y'all down, y'all wouldn't be doing the things y'all doing right now. Period. Coming up. Oh, and also this will also be a part 1 and a part 2 video. So this is part 1 right now. I'm gonna do part 2 tomorrow. Okay, so reason number 3, they didn't come back because of Total Divas. This is also wrong, because if you watch their biography, which I did, they left for 11 months because they felt like they weren't reaching their full potential. That things were just looking like it was the same thing every week for women on TV, and they wanted to do more. And then and another thing too that WWE lied about is that the Bella Twins were not the first ones that WWE reached out to be on Total Divas. AJ Lee, Kelly, Maurice, and Maria were the divas that they actually wanted originally on the show. But when they all turned it down, they went to the Bella Twins. So they WWE lied about that. But onto this. The Bella Twins, Nikki Bella claimed and said that they didn't come back for Total Divas. That's a lie, because if you watch the biography, her and Bree said they weren't going to come back unless WWE offered them something interesting to come back to. So WWE offered them, said we're making a show, and we want you guys to be on it. So obviously they took it because it's like, why the fuck not? They get to be on TV, and they get to do crossover stuff and have a show. So for her telling Renee Young that, that's a complete lie. I can understand she probably wants to sound like she came back to wrestle, but that's not true at all. You came back because they were offering you guys a show and more money to do crossovers. So you don't have to lie. So for her saying that, I just thought that's very insulting to the fans who watch the biographies and all this other stuff. So it's like it's just ridiculous that she said that they didn't come back for Total Divas because that's just not true. All right, reason number 4, and this will be the end of part 1. I'm keeping this stuff short and sweet because I don't want to rant for too long, making videos too long. So reason number 4, AJ Lee's pipe bomb made fans care less about her and Brie. Here we motherfucking go. This is so annoying. I am so tired of her and Brie mentioning AJ Lee's name every single time in an interview. It's so annoying. AJ Lee has not talked about them since she left the business. And the only thing AJ Lee ever mentioned in her book was about being asked to be on Total Divas. That's it. She never said anything disrespectful about the Bella Twins or anything like that. But I'm hearing that in their book that they were saying this for shit about her. And it's like, you know what? They're allowed to feel any way they want, but when you're trying to tear someone down in your book because you weren't woman enough to say to their face or anybody else, that's shady and that's fake. They never say any of the shit to AJ Lee's face. I doubt it. And I just feel like for them to go to a book and try to publicly make her look like the villain is just ridiculous. AJ Lee did what her boss told her to do. It was a scripted promo, but I'm pretty sure April felt everything she was saying was absolutely the truth. And you know what? Everything that AJ Lee said in her promo was true about all of them. About all of them. They did come back to be on Total Divas. They didn't come back to be champion. They didn't come back to help help the division. They didn't come back for any of that. They came back to be on Total Divas and then to get pushed. And how about the fact that AJ Lee's pipe bomb helped all of them get get something. It helped all of them get over. And once they wouldn't say they weren't over, it helped. Actually, if you think about it, AJ Lee cutting that pipe bomb made fans care about how they were gonna beat her down. If you want to be technical, she was losing certain matches against them. She lost the 5-on-5 match in Survivor Series. She was losing clean to them as a heel, and those losses didn't affect her at all. She was still being billed as still the biggest woman wrestler of all time. AJ Lee still to this day is still the biggest, most successful film wrestler come out of the WWE. Period. People miss AJ Lee. People talk about her every single time on Instagram, Twitter, you fucking name it. People are always talking about AJ Lee. When they did Evolution, the pay per view, nobody was asking if the Bella Twins were going to be there. They were asking about AJ Lee. They were saying, "Oh, is AJ Lee going to come back for Evolution for the Royal Rumble?" They want to know if she was going to come back. People miss AJ Lee. People miss her now that she's gone because she's missed out on so much stuff that she could have been a part of. So for Nikki Bella to be talking about she's the reason and da 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 this and da 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 that, and the fact that her and Brie took a scripted promo seriously, knowing that Vince had her go out there and say those things, is just them being very crybabies. Because she did what her boss told her to do. So if you have a problem with what she was told to do, you should be going to your boss, not AJ Lee. But I'm gonna assume that it still was some real beef. I just feel like I just know little of it. Like I feel like I still know little of what the problem was backstage with them. But the only reason I could assume they were upset was because everything that she was saying was true, and they just didn't want to hear the truth. So I think what they should be doing instead of complaining about AJ Lee, they should be getting on their hands and knees and saying thank you to the bitch that gave them opportunity to be successful, that gave them the keys to the kingdom, that gave them, that made them, no, that made fans care about what they were going to say or do. If it wasn't for AJ Lee, the Bella Twins would have never got merch. They would have never got, Nikki Bella would have never got her title reign. There's a lot of things that Asia Lee, if it wasn't for Asia Lee, the Bella Twins would have never that successful. Paige would have never got 2 title reigns without AJ Lee. Like, come on. AJ Lee gave them some of the best moments, some of the best segments, and some of the best matches of their careers. You gonna complain? Get the fuck out of here. So that's just how I feel about part one. Honestly, I feel like Nikki Bella is full of shit for saying all these things that don't add up. I don't have anything against her in real life, but what I do have against is wrestlers going into podcasts and telling one half of the story or not keeping it real or trying to purposely bury the company or the wrestlers to make people feel sympathy for them, even though that when you watch their careers, they weren't even all that great themselves. So it's just this whole humbling yourself and just stop thinking that you were all that great because they really weren't. They weren't really that great. And I wish someone would just tell them that. Their entire careers were just smoke and mirrors. But I take nothing away from what they did in WWE. Even though I hate the fact that Nikki Bella is the longest reigning Divas champion, you will well I guess yes, people will always remember that she broke the record. So I mean, like, it's things like that you won't be able to turn off. I could always say it was bad because it was, but I won't forget the fact that she beat the record. So I think it's just things like that that people need to realize that if WWE or if AJ Lee held them down, I don't think they would have been as successful as they was. So that's just how I feel. So this is part one. Check out part two tomorrow and let me know what you guys think in the comments. And this is nothing personally against Nikki Bella because I know people are gonna try to say, "Oh my God," personally, I don't know her personally to have an opinion on Nicole. I don't know Nicole in real life. I'm talking about Nikki Bella the character. So this is how I feel about Nikki Bella saying everything that they went through when she was there as a character. So don't come in here and say anything about me disliking her personally because if you do, you just will be blocked. I'm not going to argue with anyone about my opinions. You guys have a great day and live life and love yourself.